Derek, you have been generous in allowing me to ask about your personal experience. So if you would share it with everyone, that would be great.
Well, I guess one often I think your own passion for a condition for addressing something comes out of your own experience. And I've now had three cancers, primary cancers: melanoma, prostate, and esophagus. And when I think of the last cancer which I've been treated for, I'm struck by the fact that just about every diagnostic and every treatment modality, and now my follow-up that I've had, from chemotherapy to radiotherapy to surgically driven, AI-driven robotic surgery by the great Dr. Bofa, and immunotherapy, and now follow-up. Um, Virtually none of that is available across Africa or most of the low middle income countries or even parts of rural America. And so I hope through the investments that are going to come in future, we can actually address this reality because we did it for HIV/AIDS. And I can remember long enough back to when people said there is no way that these expensive AIDS drugs are going to work in low middle income countries, and gave all the reasons. It's going to take tough diagnostics that people wouldn't know how to handle it. Well, that all proved to be incorrect. And now we have people living long, healthy lives because both the pricing, the diagnostics, and the infrastructure started happening. I hope that the same can happen in the area of cancer, knowing that the gap between those who need and those who have is even greater than it may have been in HIV/AIDS. I think the other thing I would say from my own personal experience, Erica, and thanks for asking, is that one learns that there are things beyond AI that we need to consider. Um, the meaning of life itself, the purpose, why are you doing things, what drives you into the future. And in that, I've drawn a lot of inspiration from Viktor Frankl's classic book on man's search for meaning, where he came out of Auschwitz and took that experience into becoming one of the leading supporters of addressing cancer patients. It's a book that needs to be read alongside looking at the applications of AI. And I suspect that we will have to always have that deeply human component to dealing with the suffering, the concerns, the worries of people with cancer and their families and friends, while we're dealing with the more technical aspects that AI is so well equipped to address.
I can't resist telling everyone that Derek will jump into freezing cold water to do his swims, and he will even swim around Manhattan. But I mean, the physical aspect of what you've done, and you look wonderful, by the way. Just share a little bit about that.
Well, and first of all, I'm very aware that I am lucky that I have responded well so far to all the treatment. So this may not be the case for so many other people, but I certainly go back to when I was first diagnosed with esophageal cancer. I was told that that'll be the end of my swimming, and swimming has been part of my life, my passion. And after a couple of days, I went to them and explained that I'm actually an epidemiologist, and I wanted to know what was the evidence for why one can't swim. And the initial reasons, this goes for many people who'll be going through cancer therapy, you'll be told infection rates are a real issue. True. So you can monitor the infection rates. When I had my esophagus removed, the concern was you can have reflux from the water and get a terrible pneumonia and die. I said, okay, well, I won't eat before I swim. And then I celebrated 2 years after my surgery by swimming around the Statue of Liberty and continued swimming with a wonderful group of friends. But in the process, it made me relook at the evidence. And again, it does relate to our discussion on AI. Increasing physical activity while going through therapy lowers your side effects and promotes remission. There's hard evidence of this, particularly coming from the breast cancer world. And I think that one of the ways in which AI could help is through the use of different sensors and biomarkers of people going through cancer therapy and long-term, promote and encourage them to live healthier lives and more physically active lives. And that itself will have a benefit on their cancer, but also their overall well-being and sense of mental health.